Benett, fellas. Look here.
Stand by.
One for C-Lab, two for Draw Eagle, three for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Broadcasting live from inside the double douche. This is The Blah. In this episode, everybody dies from getting kicked in the head. I'm your host, the Wolverine, along with my intrepid bouncer companions, Jarhigo.
What's up?
And Orange Sassy Squirrel.
Yo.
That's right, folks. This week, we are finally covering the epic 1989 bouncer classic, Roadhouse, starring Patrick Swayze, Sam Elliott, Kelly Lynch, Marshall Teague, and Ben Gazzara. Let's start the show.
You said bouncer classic. Are there other bouncer movies? Is there like a bouncer subgenre?
No, that's why I said it.
Okay.
Is there another sort of... I mean, the only other bar movie I know of is like Cocktail, but...
I don't think there's another bouncer movie.
No.
I mean, there's got to be, but I just don't know it.
Well, I mean, part of the magic of Roadhouse is that it stands on its own in this... It owns the subgenre of bouncer bar movies. There isn't another one, and I don't really think there ever should be another one. I don't think we need another one, and this one is enough.
Have you ever seen the follow-up?
What's the follow-up?
Roadhouse 2 with Jake Busey.
Is that a what? Is that a real thing? I thought that was a myth.
No, it exists.
Oh, I don't know. I think it was a real thing. I think it's like Dalton gets killed off screen, and Dalton's son needs to become a cooler and solve his father's murder, and no one from the original movie's in it. And it sounds so bad.
That's, as far as I understand it, accurate.
Yeah.
No one from the original movie's in it. Wow, what a shocker.
I think it's real, and I think it sounds so bad, like just so bad, that I might need to watch it and then hate that I watched it.
I love that I'm like on IMDb, I'm scrolling through the thing for Roadhouse, and there's no mention of this sequel whatsoever.
I think it double featured alongside Airborne, actually.
Whoa, meta.
But Kev, I just like, if we're touching on the high level, I need you to school me in what it is about this movie that you like, because I enjoyed it. Like, don't get me wrong, but you just have a love for this, unlike many other humans on Earth, I think.
Well, I'm gonna lay down some serious nerd cred when I give my high level here. I've seen this movie like 8 million times. It's so good. I really didn't even need to watch the movie because I know it so well. In fact, I didn't finish watching the movie. I didn't have time, and I was like, I don't need
just
to
stopped
see
it
this
and did Tai Chi in your house?
Yeah, I put on my karate casuals and I did some Tai Chi in the house.
Did you oil up beforehand?
Yes, of course. I greased myself.
And by karate casuals, do you mean you put your karate gi top and tucked it into your faded jeans?
Yeah, it's like a short sleeve gi top.
Yeah.
Tucked into my jeans, my super tight jeans.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
When I shaved my stash and shit for work, I almost had a nice mullet going for a minute. It was like a sort of a proto mullet, and then I had to cut it.
No,
but here's the thing. I don't know. I never could get my mullet as sexy as Swayze's mullet. It's got so much power in this movie.
I don't know if anybody could, bro.
I think it's a lost, forgotten hairstyling method.
Yeah, I think it is too. It's
like an ancient Egyptian.
It's like the dark arts now. Like you have to go into like the basement of Blaine's and like
there you go.
There's like the Necronomicon book that you open up with a lock on it.
Wait, what did you say at the beginning of that, Benny?
What?
No, I thought you said I thought you said you go into a Blaine's, like a Blaine's hair and beauty school, and there's a Necronomicon there. Is that what you said?
Yes. I was literally saying that you go into the basement of Blaine's.
Okay, cool. I thought I heard you say
You go down
that.
to like the dungeon basement of Blaine's, and there's like a fucking Necronomicon of hairstyles in there. That
Dude.
the dark arts, and the Swayze mullet is in there, but they don't teach it anymore because it has too much power.
Yeah, that's it. The joke was funny without Blaine's, but with Blaine's, man, that is just it. That's chef's kiss right there, Benny. You get an extra life for that one, I think.
I think I need one.
I was gonna say that like this hairstyle it's not of this earth, right? So this hairstyle was brought to this planet in ancient times by the Anunnaki and given to man. And any like serious ancient alien nerd out there will totally get that reference, and I'll leave it at that. But
Do you remember the TV show The Phoenix?
oh, totally, dude. Yes.
Because he kind of had a similar hairstyle going there.
And he also had powers given to him by some ancient Egyptian or something race, as I recall. It's vague.
I believe he was an alien.
The aliens, the way to tell who the lizard people are is who has the best mullet or something.
Well, in this case, absolutely. Although he wasn't a lizard person. He was a kind of a Zen surfer guy who was solar powered, and he also wore karate casuals.
Okay. I love it. I love the meandering cul-de-sac into steak mustaches and mullet corner before we really get into the high level ones.
Well, we haven't even finished my high level. Number one, number two. There are no stashes in this movie.
I know.
I mean, Sam Elliott
I know.
this is like his only stashless film, and somehow I forgot about it. I was like sort of disappointed, but you know, he's so crusty in this movie. It totally makes up for the lack of the stash.
Yeah.
Sam Elliott is constantly like, God damn it, I forgot my hair tie. Like he's constantly like struggling to get his hair out of his face.
Yeah, exactly. Always brushing his hair back.
Excuse me, honey. Do you think I could borrow one of your scrunchies?
They should do a 4K re-release of this where they digitally add a mustache in. They'll get the same guy that removed Superman's mustache, and they'll give him his stash back.
Come on, let's be fair. If he shaved the rest of his beard, he would have a little bit of a mustache.
He'd have
It's just that he's,
Yeah.
I told one of our listeners that we were doing Roadhouse this week, and she was like, "No fucking way, that's sick."
I like the enthusiasm.
Oh my god! Yeah, a lot of enthusiasm. Can I borrow your scrunchie?
Pardon me, darling.
Pardon me, darling.
Maybe you got an extra scrunchie in your purse I could borrow. My damn hair keeps falling in my face.
Oh boy, we're off to a rousing, rocking start, folks. So to continue my high level, I've seen this movie 1,000 times. I didn't even finish watching it. Now I'm going to lay down my nerd cred. I love this movie so much. I named my son Dalton. Now, of course, Igoe and C-Lap know that. And now all of you know that. You all must know that. That is how much I love this movie. I suggested the name Dalton purely based on my love of this movie and Swayze and his hair. And my partner is not a movie person, and she loved the name, and it kept making it in every cut of the lists of names that we had for him. And it made the final cut. And I was super stoked.
I have to say to you,
Does
man.
she know now?
Yeah.
She knows now.
The only reason why that was approved is that she isn't a movie person, I think.
Exactly.
It's a great name, but man, that's funny. I love it. I love it so much.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
It's
now,
like
is your son's name just Dalton?
I wish that I could have named him just one name, Dalton. Like,
Ladies and gentlemen, the name's Dalton.
I was trolling for nuggets and found, or trawling for nuggets, I should say.
there you go.
And found that the screenwriter said that while he named the protagonist Dalton out of his respect for a town in Georgia, no sane parent
That's
would
right.
name their son Dalton. And I fucking nearly spit my coffee all over the screen when I read that. I love that.
Yeah, he came up with the name after Dalton, Georgia. That's right. I read the same snug.
But I like that he calls you out specifically. It's so fucking great.
It's great.
That's a pretty serious nerd cred, man. I mean,
No, that's like, yeah, exactly.
legit.
I need to share that. You know, like I know I have an actor friend who lives in LA. He named his kid Strider. And I was like, when he told me that, I was like, I literally had to take a couple seconds and pause on the phone. I was like, wow. You know, like that was a big deal, you know. And I know other people that have named their children other names like that, and you know, there's weird people that name their kid like, you know, daffodil, blueberry, ginseng, yogurt, and that kind of shit. But Dalton is just legit, dude. And that's my nerd cred, dude. So that's how much I love this movie. I named my kid after it. I think this movie, like I said, stands on its own. There are no other bar movies. There are no other bouncer movies. And if there are, we need you nerds to remind us of what they are, because I'm so tired I can't think of what anything like that might be right now. But that's kind of what makes this movie special. It's like a B movie populated by A-list actors. We got Swayze, Kelly Lynch, Ben Gazzara, Red West, bloody Keith David is in it for like 5 minutes.
Yep,
Kevin
yep.
Tighe. You know, all of these great guys. Marshall Teague, he's awesome. The list goes on. I think that's what makes this movie great. That's my high level. Then I'll expand on that later.
Don't forget Jeff Healey.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff Healey, of course.
And Fats Williams.
And Fats Williams.
Yeah, that was a cool casting. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute. I want to hear y'all's high levels.
Benny?
Y'all's. I can't believe I just said that.
I like
Yeah,
it.
go ahead.
It's apropos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the bouncer thing is funny. I was watching some videos to kind of get myself psyched up for this, and I don't remember exactly who it is, and I don't want to attribute it to the wrong person. But they were comparing the way bouncers are in this to sort of like John Wick and like the assassins in that. It's like this weird like alternate universe where like bouncers are like badasses that everybody knows about, and like
That's awesome.
I thought that was, I got a good chuckle out of that.
Yeah, for real. Wow. I totally dig that, by the way.
Yeah. So this movie is clearly the epitome of so bad it's good.
Yeah.
After watching it this last time, I'm going to be honest, like this last time watching it, like I love this movie. Don't get me wrong, but like it was a bit of a slog to get through this time for some reason. I just like wasn't in the mood for it, but I sallied forth anyways just to make sure I wasn't forgetting any details.
Good for you, yeah.
And along the way on this one, it occurred to me that there's kind of something funny about this movie, maybe, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I hope it is. I hope they told Patrick Swayze that it was like a really, really serious, dramatic film. And I hope they told Ben Gazzara that it was like a piss take.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
You know, sort of parody comedy type thing. Because if ever there was like a hero versus a villain where like, you know, the acting style was like just
Bond
so
villain-esque kind of.
Yeah, Ben, it's beyond that. I mean, he's just like, he's driving his fucking Fox body Mustang, like just zigzagging on the road, singing. And, you know, he's like, Ben Gazzara must have had so much fun in this movie.
Totally.
But he's just so ridiculously, you know, comically so over the top that I kind of believe that that's what happened. It's like how they were pitched the script, you know, like
yeah.
They told Swayze, they're like, oh no, it's like it's really serious and really dramatic, and you know, it's like there's gonna be a lot of emotions and you know this and that, and he was like, really, oh,
ham it up.
And then they told Gazzara like, no, it's a piss take, it's a total comedy, like it's
I love it.
ham it up.
I like that.
So that's sort of it in a nutshell.
I like it, dude. Good high level. I really dig the Bond villain kind of setting. Like I now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, it definitely has like Bond villain level vibes, but set in a bar brawl kind
Yeah.
of scenario. It's so weird.
Yeah, a Bond villain that's like the I don't know, mafia kingpin of a small town on a
Yeah, exactly.
So sick.
on a 3-wheeler, like a Honda 3-wheeler, like
Totally, dude.
checking out Swayze while he's doing his Tai Chi in
Christ,
the morning.
J.C. Penney is coming here because of
Because of
me.
me.
For Christ's sake. I got them
J.C.
all
Penney
here.
is the hotness.
7-Eleven, the Photomat, the Kohl's, Chick-fil-A.
Dollar General's coming
Target
next year,
is
guys.
coming here because of me. There you go, Dollar General.
The 99.
What's the all you can eat buffet called?
99. There you go. Waffle House is
Fucking
coming here
Jesus.
because of me.
Chili's is coming here because of me.
Come on, Dalton. You beat people's faces in for a living. Don't tell me you don't love it.
I love it.
Ruby Tuesdays.
All right, Squirrel Lab, lay it out, dude. What's your high level, brah?
Gee, you were just saying like the Bond villain of a small town. I read like a little excerpt from I think it was Roger Ebert from Siskel and Ebert back in the day talking about this, and he was like, "Yeah, I found it really funny and whatever and whatever." Ebert-y review, but he's like, "You're meant to believe that this guy's a villain of a small town that's comprised of 2 houses, a bar, and a general store. Like, there's like no fucking town." Which I kind of, I kind of enjoyed that
And an auto
observation
parts store.
because they're
Auto parts,
like,
yeah.
there's a hospital, 2 houses, and a couple of shops. Like, but there's fucking people lined up around the block by
No
the end
shit.
of the movie at this shitty
Well,
little roadhouse
yeah.
with a dirt fucking parking lot.
For the to go to the double douche.
Go to the double douche.
So I like that
double
observation.
douche.
I
Double
think it's a
douche.
great kind of
double douche.
segue into my high level where
No, that's good.
it's like the premise of this movie is so dumb, but it's it's so enjoyable. Like
So
the flattest, like I don't know if any of you had
It's
fucking
so good.
cousins or sisters that were girls, but you have those like little fucking paper dolls where you cut the dress out and you like fold the tab over them. It's like the most boring toy in the world. Like the plot in this thing was the most 2-dimensional fucking plot, but it's just so much fun to just watch a stupid action movie with fist fights all the time. And I don't know, it was fun.
It was the
totally,
flattest,
totally. And,
flattest of the glasses.
I
of
don't know.
Pepsi,
It kind of
yes.
comes to mind that like I would like to propose. I don't think it's a risky thing to propose, but I would like to propose that if Swayze was not in this movie and it was cast by somebody else's cast,
Oh boy,
it wouldn't have flown. I think Swayze carries this movie.
no way. Nobody has the sexiness, the suaveness, the commanding presence, the karate casuals, or the.
I mean, Sam Elliott helps here,
manliness
but yeah,
that he does.
it's a Swayze fest. If it wasn't for him, I don't think this movie would be half as good.
I totally agree. I don't think the rest of the gang could carry it without him.
I mean, the movie was clearly modeled on like a hero's journey, modern Western kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah.
So I kind of dug the modern Western element, but it's a pretty flat plot.
Yeah, it's a glass of flat tap, dude, no doubt. But it's just
It's less about the whole and more about the parts.
There you go. I like that.
it's a symphony of destruction, and that's what makes it
Ooh.
good.
Just like the Pied Piper.
I think we went down this road a long time ago.
Did we?
I think so.
It's a
yeah.
good song.
We did.
think a mortal man.
Oh yeah, we definitely did.
Definitely did.
You put him in control. Wage the war on organized crime.
Yep.
There you have it, folks. Symphony of Destruction by Jarhigo and Moby and C-Lab. I where do we start?
I still want you to tell me why you like this movie. It's a shitty movie.
Well, didn't I say already?
I don't know. Kind of.
Okay, well, all right. I'll start with it. That's a good place to start.
Like, there's liking the movie and there's naming your kid after the movie. There's, there's like a whole other level
all right.
of love
Fair
here.
enough. It's so All right, I sort of explained it in the high level, but it's so terrible. Like what you guys just said. Like it's like a glass of flat tab. It's the Western trope of like, you know, it's kind of drifter, comes through town, cleans the town up, and then stays, right? I mean, the story's as old as dirt, right? But I think the killer combo of this movie is that terrible plot, the setting of this secret world of bouncers, right? Because I mean, that's what it is. Like, they talk about shit in this movie. Like, there's years and levels of lore about the world of bouncing that just nobody gets to know about because it's so secret. And it's that plus the incredible cast who, even though many of them were, you know, kind of young and, you know, early in their careers, like they're still really good. And they made this movie, they elevate this movie somehow from B status to like B plus status. So that combined with it's all those elements together, man, that just make it so damn enjoyable. It's just so terrible and it's so awesome at the same time. And legitimately both things. Like the plot's terrible, the acting is great, the dialogue is like it's like 80s in bad, but it's like somehow those great actors make it good. Then you take the pie out of the oven and there you go. This is what you get. And that's why I love it, man. I mean, as a kid, it was just, you know, just seeing all the fighting was just so kick-ass. And I mean, seeing it now, it's still kind of totally kick-ass, but it's still totally ridiculous too, man.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of layers going on. Somehow there's a lot of layers going on, even though this movie is so shallow.
There are no layers
and
going on.
That's what's great about the movie.
Okay.
You sure it's not because it's a very sexy bromance between Sam Elliott and
I'm not
Patrick Swayze?
That might be it, dude, because I'm not sure. Maybe that's what I'm attracted to is the sexy bromance.
It's pretty studly.
Between Wade Garrett and Mio.
Dalton. Just Dalton.
Yeah. But like, you know,
I love how they're both like world famous in the land of John Wick bouncers. They're like, hey guys, that's Dalton. Like these guys are known across the fucking world as the greatest bouncers. It's so funny.
That's what I mean, dude, by the secret world.
Sam Elliott shows up and beats some dudes up on the loading dock and everybody's like, who's that? And again, Jeff Healy shows up out of nowhere and he's like,
exactly.
That's Wade Garrett. And everybody's like, whoa. It's like, you know.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I know. And the kid, like the bouncer kid, you know, is like, he's like, no way. Like, like that's what I mean by the secret world. Like there's just this.
No, he says, holy shit.
Is that what he says?
And Sam Elliott goes,
exactly right.
It says something along the lines of, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Does, dude. But that's the thing that I love about this movie is that they don't. I think this is part of the killer combo is that they don't apologize for anything, and everybody is all in on everything in this movie, right? So everybody is totally committed. I think this is really probably the golden screw that holds it all together. Is that the commitment of the actors to the material, if you can call it material, is so devout that they're able to somehow create this weird secret lore of the bouncer world, and like they just lean the fuck into it and they don't stop, man, for a second. And you're drawn in by that. And it's sexy. And I love it.
Stupid sexy standards.
Yeah, man. So I mean, it's like, and then you've got this, you know, as in many of those like Western type tales, you know, or like sort of, you know, sword and sandal tales. You got like the bard that's like, you know, kind of there to like sing his praises and talk about him during the movie. And that's Jeff Healy, man, the whole way through. Like he literally introduces both of them, you know, like in the beginning when he's on stage. And Dalton's like doing his first like round of like real ass kicking at the double douche. And he's like, the name's Dalton. And then he says to Terry Funk, he goes, the deal is, and he's so committed when he's doing it, man. He's like, the deal is, fuck with him and he'll seal your fate. And then later, when Wade shows up on the loading dock, he goes, ladies and gentlemen, Wade Garrett. So he's like the bard character in the movie. And it's just...
He is.
All that, he's freaking great, man.
He's really good in this.
He's a great musician to boot, and he's a great actor in this movie.
You killed it.
Yes.
I think one of the things that I appreciated just how much they leaned into it was the strong silent type for Swayze, where like he just fucking stands there at the double douche for like 2 days doing fucking nothing.
Yep.
I loved that. Everyone was like, you gonna fucking do something? And he's just like, coffee black, Earl Grey hot.
Earl Grey
He just stands there fucking, yeah, it was fucking great.
Wade Garrett to my ready room.
It was just, yeah, it's perfect.
Right? So good, man.
Because he just, I don't know, like, you don't see movies where the whole point is a bouncer movie with Patrick Swayze as the bouncer, and it takes him a half an hour to fucking stop somebody from doing something. Like, that's a lot of brooding.
Well,
first.
yeah, I mean, you could say that it's about him, like, redemption and him, like, coming to terms with his past, like, ripping the guy's throat out in Memphis, but that doesn't really go anywhere.
No.
Because he ends up ripping Marshall Teague's throat out.
Exactly.
He relives it. He rips somebody else's
man.
throat out so he can feel better about the other one.
He rips somebody else's throat out, third act, loses the girl for 4 minutes and 33 seconds, and then doesn't rip the third guy's throat out. It's like, oh, progress.
Yeah.
Nice work, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you know how you feel better about tearing somebody's throat out?
Yeah.
You tear another person's throat out. I mean,
exactly.
That's not such a big deal.
There's only one remedy, man.
It's not such a novelty, you know. You've torn a couple throats out. You can come to terms
done it
with
before.
Yeah, there's only one remedy for feeling bad about ripping a throat out. That's ripping some more throats out.
Mm.
It's a very specific thing right there.
Very.
It's such an iconic moment in cinema, I think.
Yeah, but Chad, I gotta say, like, if I can interrupt for a second, I think that, like, what you just said accentuates my point about the commitment of the actors. Like, he's so focused, man, in those first, like, 15 minutes when he's like, they're showing him at the Double Deuce for a couple of nights of checking out the place, you know, and like he's so brooding and silent and sexy and he doesn't say much, and it's like he's totally committed, man. And you're there. He's selling it and you're buying. That's it.
You're right. You're definitely right. I like how much you're selling.
Well, maybe, but it's all true, man.
Yeah, it is.
So anyway, where were we?
You were selling it?
Roadhouse for sale, folks. Come and get it.
I think you were busy trying to cash in on Miho's mojo.
There you go, dude. Miho's mojo. We need to have our own show-related power drink, and it should be called Miho's mojo.
I'm down.
And it's got like the essence of like all these great things, like Swayze's mullet, Sam Elliott's mustache. You know, it's like a brew, like a witch's brew almost.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's got all those items in it, plus other items from our various travels in these films and television shows that we've watched, all thrown in together. Miho's mojo, sorry.
Maybe it should just be Swayze Sweat.
Swayze Sweat.
Ooh.
Nah, I'm just thinking of Booty Sweat from Tropic Thunder.
Totally. No, it's I like your Miho's mojo. I think that's way better.
I kind of want it to be like Miho's Mojito or something.
Ooh.
You mean like the alcoholic drink?
And if you want an alcoholic version so you can have a real good time at the Double Douche, try a Miho's Mojito. We make it.
I kind of like the.
We make it with the big white mint from the urinal.
First thing we do is take the big white mint from the urinal and crush it up real good. And then we pour it in a little glass with some ice.
Lots of rum.
And lots of booze. And then we shake that shit up and we kick it all over the bar. And then we pour it in your glass.
And we stir it up with a giant fucking knife.
And you get drunk as fuck and start kicking ass.
I did enjoy the, like, you just got your fucking ass kicked, kind of stumble into the bar thing towards the end, and he's like, go grab a beer. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah,
It's constantly just fucking slugging beers.
Totally.
It's funny, man. It's realistic, but it's funny.
Yeah, it is. He stays up all night drinking beer right into the morning. Even at the diner, he's drinking beer. They're drinking coffee.
Yeah, she's like, I got a shift in 2 hours. I'll see you guys later. It's like, fucking, all right.
I know.
Have fun at that shift.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that'd be great. And I'd be stoked to come into the hospital when you're just coming off of like an all-night bender with Dalton and legendary Wade Garrett.
In the ER where, you know, you're fucking trying to stop the bleeding and she's just like breathing vodka breath in your face the whole time.
And shaking. The scalpel is shaking.
Totally.
Like shaking the Mohel from Seinfeld.
Like what? Shaking the what?
Shaking the Mohel from the Briss episode.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. Anyway.
Yep.
That's a death.
Speaking of like flat ridiculousness that doesn't really make any sense and is totally implausible, but I'm completely on board. It's the love interest. Like how fucking hot that doctor is, dude. Kelly Lynch or whatever her name is. She is like an 80s goddess, man. That hair is the most 80s hair ever.
Oh my God, it is so 80s.
It's so good.
Yeah, I was.
And she's like tanner than my fucking Little League baseball mitt in this fucking movie.
Totally. I had such a crush on her, man. And she was actually in the other bartending movie that I mentioned. She was in Cocktail.
Dude, which blew my mind when I was IMDb fucking everybody kevsing out earlier.
Nice. Yeah, right?
I did not remember that.
I mean, she's just, I don't know, like, I'm like vacillating between like trying to break this discussion into sections or not. But like, if we just kind of focus on, like, going back to the town for a second, right? Like, there's never really any kind of establishing shot of the town itself. He talks about J.C. Penney and all these other retailers.
There's no town, bro.
Right. And the only time we see any stores, I mean, we know that Red's Auto Parts store is literally on the same lot as the Double Deuce, right? We know there's a hospital. We know there's a diner. And then when Jimmy and the other guy go in to like spill a quart of oil in Red's and steal his money for the week.
Oh, goodness.
When they go,
let me get the mop.
When they go peeling out of there, you see like some other stores in the town. But it doesn't look like anything special. And I don't see no 7-Eleven. I don't see no JCPenney, dude.
Right.
So, like, I don't know. It's like it's a weird kind of upside down world, John Wick world of this place that, like, has a huge population and simultaneously no population whatsoever.
Oh, there's the auto dealership. Come on.
That's what I mean. That's Red's.
That.
Yeah, that's Red's.
No, the dealership where Bigfoot drives through.
Right, of course.
Which was a great scene. That's a bits and bobs scene.
Oh, man. Yes. The Chevy dealer scene is awesome, man.
Bigfoot sighting.
Bigfoot sighting, totally.
I got a blurry video of it.
There you go, dude. Nice.
Totally.
I got some compelling audio.
There you go. Got a blob squash photo, man.
Stuff. I love that it's actually the Bigfoot too. Just not painted up with all the branding and shit. I think that's great.
I like that it's like a classic monster truck from the 80s. Like it was like an actual truck that was jacked up with giant wheels. Like when you look at the monster trucks now, like there's a very specific.
Yeah, it's just like fiberglass bullshit.
Yeah, it's a very specific design that they follow. You know, obviously to keep the driver safe and so the truck can do the tricks and the jumps and all that stuff. And that's fine. But
no, it's not. I don't care about driver safety in monster trucks. It's totally against the point.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Safety ruins everything.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, you guys are right. You're totally right.
Safety third.
Safety third. That's our motto.
Yeah, Bigfoot was.
But yes, it's a legit
fucking
monster truck.
Ridiculously popular when I was a kid. Like everybody fucking loved Bigfoot.
Yeah,
totally.
And everybody wanted to own and drive a monster truck,
yeah.
Which is like the impracticality of that is hilarious.
It is.
Yeah. It was new turf. Nobody knew whether it was practical or not. especially not kids.
Yeah. I
And
guess.
nobody knew what a thing it was going to become.
Nobody knew that you could pay $50 to wait for 4 hours to watch them drive for 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Exactly.
The diabolical nature of the bad guy being like, let's take our monster truck and drive through the auto dealership was just another chef's kiss, man.
And then there was the time I hired Bigfoot to drive through the Ford dealership.
So good.
Yeah, that was good
He's
stuff.
such a prick. He's such a Dr. Evil prick.
Such
guy,
a
man.
douche. Let's talk about Ben Gazzara for a second because he's awesome.
All right. Before we get into him, I want to take a off-camera death because I was convinced that it was David Carradine as the bad guy in this who gets his throat ripped out. So I had clearly not seen this in so fucking long. I completely forgot about Ben Gazzara.
You thought it was David? You thought Ben Gazzara's character was Ben Gazzara? I mean,
yeah, I thought David Carradine played the bad guy, and there wasn't a henchman who gets his throat ripped out. I thought it was like Swayze versus Carradine. as the
man,
baddie. I was
that would have been sick.
so off in my own universe because it had been that long.
Yeah,
so I was just like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Yep.
But he's great. He did a great job, especially like you said, Benny, with the like weaving in the road, not giving a fuck at all. Like he sold it.
It's really funny, man. Like I found myself laughing.
So good. Yeah, it's so funny.
Through the entire thing. Like every time he was on screen, I just started chuckling to myself.
And I love how how badly he was singing that song too. Like he switched octaves halfway through because he couldn't keep up, and it was just so how it would be.
Well, I mean, he's also like, I mean, the dialogue it's actually pretty good. And like he is really diabolical in this movie. Like again, commitment. This dude is so committed to this role. Like when they come back from the double deuce the first time, like Tinker and O'Connor, and they're all outside.
Yeah, and he keeps popping that tall guy who's like whimpering.
Exactly. He's got a weak
and
constitution.
that tall guy falls down and has like the worst fake fall back over thing.
Totally. He's my only sister's son, and if I'm not there for him, you're there for him. And then he knocks him on the ground and he's like, well, help him up. Like that type of shit. I love it.
I believe you, Tinker.
Yeah.
But I don't believe you, Carl.
Oh, Tinker.
Tinker with his overalls.
A bear fell on me.
What happens when you're wearing overalls but your belly overhangs your overalls? Is that like a over?
You got a serious problem.
Over under?
It's spillage, man.
He was a big boy.
He was. And he was in there kicking some ass too, man. He wasn't doing nothing, man. Like in all the fights that he was in, he was like throwing down.
He wasn't very nimble when it came to the 45-second falling polar bear, though.
No, he wasn't. But,
Well, he was like a deer in the headlights.
But that still set us up.
Is this really happening?
Exactly. It set us up for the great closing line.
Yeah.
You see anything, Tinker? A polar bear fell on me.
Yeah. So what else about Ben Gazzara, or is that it?
What else was he in? Because I can't place him, but he's so familiar to me.
He's been in a lot of stuff, I think at this point he was older and he had done a lot of stuff prior to this. I have never looked up his IMDb, so I don't know.
What is popping out in my dome right now is he played Jackie Treehorn in The Big Lebowski. Hey, dude, I'm Jackie Treehorn.
Yeah, that's totally where I know him from. Yep.
Is that right?
The porn dude?
Yeah, the porn producer.
Because I just don't recognize him from anything. I can't think of anything else. I'm sure there's some bits here and there, but
I seem to remember him from a lot of 80s television, I think. No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally porn king. Good call, Betty.
Yes.
Just taking a glance, like he did a lot of TV, a lot of high profile stuff, like Thomas Crown Affair and like those things that you guys mentioned. And yeah. The remake with Pierce Brosnan. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, he did a lot of stuff like that. Whatever. He died in 2013 and he was acting right up until he passed away. So he was quite active, even as an older gent.
I liked that the Carrie Ann or whatever, the girl got involved in that early fights and stuff. She was a ferocious little thing.
Totally. And then she gets up and starts wailing, fucking singing with the Jeff Healey band, dude.
Yeah.
She was sort of like the real genius Jordan of the group.
Ooh, yeah.
There you go. Nice comparison.
I like
yeah,
that.
Totally.
She totally has that vibe. She's not nerdy. She's like the hillbilly version of Jordan.
Definitely. I love
good.
the scene when she meets him. And
Jesus Christ.
What? I love how she's
and brings him breakfast, you mean?
No, not that one. When she meets him in the bar for the first time and she's like yelling like it's so loud in there, even though it's not that loud in there. You know what I mean? Like he's speaking like a normal speaking voice and she's like, I'm Carrie Ann.
You got her name? Yep.
I'm pretending it's loud.
But same again, that was probably the actor getting direction of like, we're going to put in a bunch of music, and then they just didn't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They did, but they did it wrong. They put it too low, so it didn't work.
I liked the scene where she brings him breakfast. Like, that was pretty random. She just randomly shows up crushing on him, and then was like, whoa, look at those buns. And then fucking...
Look at those buns.
So I just came here to bring you breakfast and tell you you're a fucking dead man. Okay, see ya.
Yeah, I love that.
I brought you some donuts, but I didn't know I was going to get the sweet rolls.
I love how she brings him a Danish and he like takes one look at it with disgust while he has his cigarette hanging out of his mouth. First thing in the morning, smoke. And then he
Dude, that guy was chiefing a lot of smokes. I loved it.
He was, man. I mean, that's part...
You don't see that kind of smoking anymore.
No, that's part of the intrigue of Dalton, man. NYU philosophy major, heavy smoker, karate casuals.
Marlboro Man.
Yeah, exactly. Marlboro Man. But like...
Was Sam Elliott a Marlboro Man?
No, he didn't smoke. He doesn't smoke.
He would have totally been a good Marlboro Man.
Totally, man. Well, he was at one point. He might still be the beef it's what's for dinner voice on TV. It's close. Sort of. It's meat related.
He's easily top 5 voices all time.
I would say, yeah, him, James Earl Jones, Morgan Freeman.
James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Who else?
Keith David's got a pretty sweet voice.
Who?
He's probably top 10. Keith David.
Oh, dude. Let's talk about Keith David for a second, man. Because, like, he's got top...
Talk about him for longer than he was in the movie.
Yeah, because he's got... I mean, there's nothing really to talk about. The guy's got top billing in the movie, and he's not in the movie. He's, like, in 2 scenes, and he has 1 line.
That's a good little
You know?
moment to drop a nugget, which is, like, it's nothing new here, but... For the first time ever, I read shit about this movie, and Sam Elliott was saying there's like a 3.5 hour cut where like a shit ton of stuff got cut out. So I bet you he had more stuff that just got cut. Because that's a weird way to cast somebody to have a fucking... I think he had like 1 line, 2 lines.
Well, I was looking... Because remember when we did The Thing? Oh, that was weird.
Yep, I was there.
When we did The Thing, we talked about...
And I was there too.
I think I dropped the little nugget of info that this was his first film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that The Thing was his first film. So this would have been like one of his like, you know, first few films that he did. I know that They Live was one of them too, which is another Carpenter movie.
When was The Thing? Was like mid-80s?
Yeah, I was trying to...
Eject out and find out.
Well, no, I was trying to seamlessly do it so I didn't get an ejection death.
Uh-huh.
Are you not buying that?
No, for the last few months, you've been trying to convince us through pure propaganda that you can not eject when you eject if it's in context, and I just don't buy it.
Inaccurate,
Yeah, exactly.
dude. We actually had an entire discussion about this because Ben did it one time too. What?
I'm not ejecting right now. I'm not.
No, that's me when I
I'm
am
not.
actually ejecting and I'm trying to cover it up. But we did agree at one point, and it's recorded, so I know it's there, that if you
Look,
are...
2 of you might have agreed, and you might overrule me, but I do not buy that bullshit. This bullshit.
I don't know what to say. Okay, so Keith David, dude, The Thing was in 82. This is 89. He did They Live in 88. So he was off and running. He also did Platoon at this point.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I watched a sick Platoon documentary on YouTube this week that was like just talking to the cast. It's very well worth a watch, man. I need to watch that movie again. It's a tiny little cul-de-sac over.
Right on. He actually did a lot of stuff in the 80s.
Yeah?
Yeah, dude. The Equalizer, They Live, Bird.
Is that the Charlie Parker one?
Yeah, exactly. Platoon. I think Bird was the one that had Forrest Whitaker in it.
Friend of the show, Forrest Whitaker.
Mm.
Friend of the show,
Mhm,
Forrest
mhm.
Whitaker. Exactly. So anyway, Keith David, top billing, and he has
One line.
One line in the movie.
10 minutes of showtime for us.
It's too bad. Missed opportunity, or it got left on the cutting room floor, and it probably shouldn't have been in the movie. So whatever. I don't know. I love the cut of the movie, so be it.
It's good, but evidently there was like a whole bunch of Sam Elliott backstory and stuff, but he was super pissed about it.
Yeah, because
but
that's
got over
what this movie needs is more lore about the world of bouncing, dude.
Well, it's just more scrunchy lore, I think.
I'm going to put it out there right now. I think they should make a prequel.
Oh,
recast
man.
which would be hard, but I want to see that story.
How about we make?
I want to see.
prequel?
I want to see Wade Garrett. As a Jedi to Dalton's Padawan.
Dude, I want to make the prequel, man. We need to do that. Once we get a few more listeners, we'll have the money to start a production company.
And then make
Roadhouse,
the
the
Roadhouse
beginning.
prequel.
Wait, hold on. We're gonna have Adam on the show soon. He's a filmmaker. He can do it.
There you go.
Yeah,
Boom.
That's
He'll buy into
right
it.
at the top of his list.
I'm sure that idea is gold, baby. Come on.
Solid gold.
They love the 80s.
Spock, it's solid beef, baby.
Nice one.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
Focus, Roadhouse. Where do we go next? Where do you guys want to go next? Do we talk enough about Kelly Lynch? Do we talk enough about the raw?
No.
the raw.
Barely talked about Kelly Lynch. But
We barely talked about Kelly.
Yeah, we
Lynch.
did. She's like, I think where I left off with her in the discussion was that, I mean, she's
She's an 80s 11.
she's
dude.
like, yeah, she's just so insanely hot to be living in Jasper. I mean, the only thing that validates it a little bit more is that we find out that she used to be Brad Wesley's wife or girl or whatever, as told by the Bard of Jasper, Jeff Healy.
Toss a coin to your bouncer.
There you go.
I think that scene with them with the staple gun, man, like that's another moment that really sticks out in, late 80s, early 90s cinema.
Staple gun.
For
oh,
me.
yeah, totally. Pain don't hurt.
It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just because there's a few moments in this movie that stuck with me as a kid, but I feel like they are like well-known cultural kind of moments, a la Pottery Barn ghost bullshit. Like there's just like these like scenes that get stuck in the kind of zeitgeist of society, and I feel like the staple gun one and the throat ripping one were two.
Definitely. I totally agree with you. I love how she's so super casual in the first meeting, like so not interested in him at all. And then she goes from that to like,
Showing up at the club with a tablecloth
exactly.
on, like the cutest tablecloth dress ever.
You asshole.
Is that your joke?
Yeah. Literally like showing up at the club with like the tablecloth from an Italian restaurant on.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That was a goddamn good looking
There's one thing we
tablecloth,
can
I'll tell you
count on.
what.
It's C-Lab sniping our jokes and nuggets, dude.
Something you can say about Kelly Lynch, she can make a tablecloth look good.
She can make a tablecloth look
So
fucking
sexy.
amazing.
Jesus.
And she does.
It was totally the hair, man. That hair.
She's got way too many brains to have an ass like that.
I don't know. She's just like, I love how she's like,
Got your hands full, kid.
I mean, it's one thing when she's like, oh, do you always carry your medical file around with him? Like, that's not that terribly out of the ordinary. But then I love how she's like, I see you studied philosophy at NYU. Like, why would that be in the medical file? Like, is it a medical file or is it like a Dalton dossier of everything that he's done, dude? Like,
Right. Dear diary, today I graduated from NYU.
Totally. And then, like, I don't know. She's also like, I don't know. There's just kind of like she's kind of keeps telling him like, oh, you're gonna have a lot of pain when you're older, you know, or oh, you can add that to your dossier or your list of 31 knife wounds and 6 bullet wounds and shit.
Fucking,
you know,
Baskin
she's trying to
Robbins
like
over here.
exactly. She's like trying to like, you know, tell him something medically, and he's like, well, somebody's got to do it, you know, or whatever. And then she's like, okay, just tell me about another fight story.
And she's like, well, I guess somebody's got to do it. And he's like, someone's got to pay me to do it.
Yeah, right,
Or
exactly.
someone's got to pay you to do it.
That was the fucking best in the opening scene. It's like, you're the greatest bouncer in the country. He's like, I want 5,000 up front and 500 a day. It's like, damn, bro, printing fucking money over there.
Yeah, the money. Well, let's just stay focused on Kelly Lynch for a second. Is there anything? Is there anything else about her? I'm sorry. I just
got killed there. That was a death, Kev. You just killed me. You're just like, yeah, nah.
Sorry.
That's okay. I kind of like it. I'm kind of into it. That was like me at the bar and I said the wrong thing to your girl. I didn't have $20 in my pocket while you let me fondle your girlfriend's tits and then you just popped me in the face. You fucking reading IMDb or something? What are you doing?
No, I'm recording the deaths, you dill.
Oh, okay.
No, dude, you're right. I think it's definitely the equivalent of that. And she goes from like so lukewarm about him to like so in love with him after, you know, the raw sesh on the brick wall so fast, you know, and then it's, oh, you're going to have pain when you're older and, you know, all that sort of thing. And you don't have to leave.
Yeah, I do. And then he's like, you're going to have pain when you're older. And then he just like one drags an entire cigarette, just sucks the whole fucking thing into his face. And then she just makes out with his smoky ass face. She doesn't give a fuck.
Totally. It's just, it's a little ridiculous in the romance. It just goes from like 0 to 10 to like 80 in the drop of a hat.
Come on, man. That's exactly how it is in real life.
I know, you're right. What am I saying, Ben? Of course.
Come on. You never had that happen?
Hey, come on.
I liked the bit where it was like, hey, come see me at the club sometime. She shows up in a tablecloth and like gripes to Kev here, but
yeah,
her character would not have been like super stoked with the fight out front.
No way.
Like her character would have been like, okay, cool. I came here to see you, but you're like beating dude's teeth out. Like, I'll see you later, bro. You're a fucking thug. But meanwhile,
Totally.
she's like, I came to see somebody. Came to see me, or whatever the fuck it was, you know? It's just like, all right.
I'm loving your reenactment, dude. All the voices are great.
It's close enough.
No, keep going.
That was it. She's just all about it. I just don't buy it. I don't buy
That's just it. Yeah, I don't know. She kind of is. I think you're right, Chad, and I think she's kind of all over the place. Like sometimes she's like, you're gonna have pain when you're older, and like sometimes she's like, oh, you don't have to leave. You know, we just like did it raw against the bricks, and then you know other times she's just like, oh my god, it's so great. Let's go get coffee.
Right, and I'll flirt with your friend.
You know, she's like so matter of fact about it. Like when she shows up the first time, she's like, "So this is what you meant," you know, like wow, 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 wow. You know what I mean? Like it's so dumb, man. Like that's what I mean. Like she's so all over the place.
I do have to kind of give you a bit of shit here, though, Kev, because 2 recent movies that you've proposed to us have the most implausible romances in. This one and Airborne. I mean, they're very similar in the like guy-girl dynamic, and I kind of like that there's similarities.
Wait, how is the Airborne romance implausible?
Well, it's like,
I mean, they're
new
it's
guy
puppy
shows
love.
up in town, like the super hot new guy shows up.
New sexy surfer new guy.
Yeah, there's sexy surfer new guy, and there's sexy Swayze new guy, and then like the rando girl who's not part of the normal crew shows up, and he's all like, "Oh, what do you like?" And it turns out to be the bad guy's girlfriend or the bad guy's sister.
Oh,
like it's
you're right.
It's a very similar situation.
Very similar.
Yeah.
I think you're failing to recognize that the true romance of this movie is between.
Yes,
That's true. Yeah.
I don't even
Don't
have to say it.
You're right.
Yeah.
You don't have to say it. But Chad brings up a good point. Like that they are like eerily similar.
Mm. And that you might have a twisted sense of romance if these are the two romance movies that you bring to the table. Throat ripping and the devil's backbone.
Don't. Maybe we need to
it.
call this one a throat. Why don't we call this Roadhouse a throat ripping romance?
A throat ripping bromance.
Whoa, I like it. Let's put that up for consideration.
I don't know. I buy the romance, even though it is so implausible,
Ridiculous.
Here. Probably because any young man would put himself in the shoes of Swayze just because they want to be the strong silent type. That's a fucking stud muffin dating the super hot girl, but it's very fucking plausible.
Yeah, it's is.
It's equally plausible as the rest of the movie.
That's true.
So
That's true.
It's in good company.
There you go.
It would have been weird if they had really fleshed it out for.
Yeah, exactly.
Should we transition into the fighting itself? I mean, because the fighting is like a character in this movie. It's like it simultaneously great and just so absurd.
It is absurd, but at least it's very entertaining. It's very well choreographed.
Yeah.
And it's shot really well. It's not like fucking claustrophobic, shitty, or in the fight kind of thing. Where you can see everything that's happening very clearly.
No, that's a really good point, Ben.
I enjoy that. And it's just it's absurd and it's kind of funny.
But it's in keeping with the Western vibe, like the table breaking, throw from balcony style stuff.
Yeah.
It's just, I love the breaking tables. Like, it's the best. I mean, there's so many, especially at the beginning. It's like the most implausible nonsense. And then there's like a huge bar brawl.
And all the broken bottles
place.
overhead stuff, which is also totally implausible, but perfectly Western.
Yeah, it's like Terry Funk gets like accidentally hit by some stray piece of debris. Then he freaking punches a dude and he breaks the table. And next thing you know, everybody in the bar is going at it. It's great.
Terry Funk is awesome in this.
He is, man. He was in something else we did too, and I don't remember what it was. Probably Over the Top or something.
I think it actually might have been Over the Top.
It might have been.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Wait. Was he?
I think so.
Jimmy Google will tell you, bro. About to find out, I think. I got a feeling.
Here we go. Enhance.
Yes,
Afghanistanimation.
Over the Top, dude. What?
It's Afghanistanimation, Chief.
Johnny Chimpo.
Well, he was also in Rambo 3. I didn't realize he was in Rambo 3, but
he probably didn't realize he was in Rambo 3.
He probably did not.
Speaking of the broken bottle stuff, I really enjoyed even the implausibility of, but the broken glass against chicken wire fence around the band stuff. That was great.
Yeah.
Yes, you gotta love that, man.
I don't know
So,
how you break
we're
a
gonna
bottle
take a
against
break
chicken wire,
and
but-
take a leak, and they're like, no bar don't pay you to take a break.
Yeah, no, he goes, you're paid to play. It's so stupid. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Ben, you kind of nailed it on the fighting. Like, you know, the dock fight, like they shoot it well from a wide enough angle that you really get to see what's going on. And it's like, this is going to sound so dumb, but I'm going to say it anyway. Like Sam Elliott has a very different fighting style from Dalton. You know what I mean? It's like distinctly like kind of bar brawly street, you know, boxing kind of thing, you know, whereas Dalton's kind of got a little bit of that, and then there's a lot of, you know, martial arts in there as well. And I don't know, it's kind of cool. And then you got, you know, Jimmy's got his own kind of martial art thing going on. So they
Wade
put some
Garrett
thought.
ain't throwing no kicks. Sorry.
What's that?
Wade Garrett ain't throwing no kicks.
Not what that bum knee is.
Well, he threw one or two, but it's definitely not like his main thing, you know, for sure.
The knee kick was his thing, I think. He taught Swayze
Well, that was
one.
definitely his, like, I mean, if we break this into like a video game, like that was his special for sure. The knee
Tekken
break
7.
is way, holy shit. How sick would that be, dude? A Roadhouse freaking fighting game.
That'd
man.
be pretty sick.
Oh, shit. That would be so good.
Street Fighter Roadhouse Edition.
I wonder, you could
Totally,
totally
man.
license that, man. I bet you could get an indie shop to make that up.
Or like
That'd be
Mortal
amazing.
Kombat Roadhouse Edition.
Be so
Or
good.
whatever, dude. Yeah, man. Like, or do like, oh, how
we
about
all know
this,
what Dalton's
dude?
finishing move is.
Yeah, he fucks you against a rock wall.
Dude, What about this? What about we take all the classic characters from all these 80s films and we put them into a fighting game?
That'd be even fucking sicker.
I'm thinking like Dalton. I'm thinking Wade Garrett. I'm feeling like definitely Jimmy. And then you get like Schwarzenegger. Take your pick.
Cobra.
Which character from which movie? Would he be Matrix?
I think they've been doing it the wrong way all these years. They keep trying to make these fighting games into shitty movies. Like they should probably
go the other
shitty
way.
movies
Make the
into
shitty
fighting
movies
games.
into fighting games.
Dude,
no,
totally.
I think this is like a gold idea, dude. Like seriously, it's like, and then of course, if we make the game, then we each have to be in the game, and then as like special unlockable characters, and then
You gotta say you're gonna violate me like a lamb chop in this one, Benny. Though.
totally, dude. Well, Jarhigo, yeah, that's not my thing. So you get like
I will shred your name and scatter it to the winds of Alderaan, motherfucker.
you could get Schwarzenegger as Dutch from Predator.
Oh, that'd be good. All mudded up.
No, Kaminski from Raw Deal would be even better, dude.
Oh, what about you? Got to have Benny with the chainmail from
Benny with
Commando.
Benett with the chainmail.
Oh,
Yeah.
Benett. Definitely Benett has to be in there, dude.
Ooh, Mr. Igoe.
Oh, Mr. Igoe would definitely have to be in there with the hand with the different freaking weapons,
oh, fuck yeah.
man.
Fuck yeah.
And then
His
what
killing
about
moves, he
like
breaks out the dildo attachment.
yes, that's the finisher, dude. That's his special, the dildo attachment.
And Bruno would have to be. I think diehard barefoot Bruno would have to be in this one.
Oh, no
Definitely.
freaking question, man. We would just make the character would be called Barefoot Bruno.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
would just
come
like
on.
waddle around with bloody feet and a cigarette.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Exactly. And then look, what about like and then which Stallone incarnation?
I think
would
it's
we
got to be
choose?
Cobra. Maybe.
Yeah, that's I was kind of thinking Cobra too, man.
Over the top,
That or
though.
Lincoln
Lincoln
Hawk,
Hawk would be pretty
maybe?
sick.
Lincoln Hawk would be sick, but Lincoln Hawk was like he was kind of a wuss. He didn't really fight anybody. He
Yeah.
just like ordered chicken and then like, tried to make his kid play arm wrestle. There was a little whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just actually Stallone, but he morphs from one role to the other
Yes,
with
I'm
like
kind of into
each
that.
move. He's like
Or-
Rocky for a second. He's like
John
throwing
Spartan.
some like hooks and some jabs. And then
Well,
he's Rambo and he's pulling out his like, one arm like fucking M60 thing, and
Yeah.
All right. I'm
and
with
then
that.
he's Lincoln Hawk and he arm wrestles you to the ground. I don't know.
Yeah.
I am so into this idea, dude. All right, Ben, I will see you're transforming Stallone, and I will raise you that in like when you start playing the game, he is like Cobretti, all right? Or, we take your pick. And then like his unlockable final form is that he can transform into any one of those characters, and they all have their unique special. Like
His final unlockable form is Kate Capshaw.
Dude, Kate Capshaw has to be the Shang Kung or whatever of the freaking game, dude. Right? Or Kang Sung or whatever the Mortal Kombat guy is.
Oh, yeah. Everybody Wang Chung. Yeah, totally.
Okay, so then we got to add Jack Burton.
Oh,
We
yeah. I was
gotta
going to
add
say, and you got to have
Lopan.
Lopan in there
Oh,
too,
dude.
man.
Egg Shen. Lopan, Egg Shen, Jack Burton. What? Freaking Wang, of course. Duh.
Yeah. The real hero of the movie.
And then if you really want to go nuts, you could add Dutch from Cobra Kai, Karate Kid.
Hmm.
You could do. Oh my God, this is such
Daniel
a freaking
LaRusso.
gold idea. Yes, LaRusso, dude, Mr. Miyagi himself.
Mr. Miyagi.
What else?
I want to see a Riggs and Murtaugh tag team where you can tag out into each of the two.
That would be sick.
You start off with Murtaugh and he's like, "Get to Riggs, I'm getting too old for this shit."
That's it. Yeah. Riggs jumps in, and his special
Yeah,
move
Riggs
is
goes, "I got you,
dislocating his
Raj."
shoulder.
Yeah, this is a sick idea. We've got to make
Gary
this
Busey,
happen.
just as Gary Busey.
Hmm.
Yeah, totally.
You wouldn't be able to license it all. I think you'd be able to license Roadhouse, though.
I don't know, dude. I think that like I mean, think about it, dude. Your
You
license.
got to start off in a place where you can get the licensing and prove and make a proving ground, so that all the rest of the people will be like, "Oh shit, we can make money with this."
Yeah.
And then you're in.
Yeah, I think additionally, like one way to go about it is like you could license the characters, but they don't necessarily if you don't make them look like you don't make them look like those people. That's where you start getting into like all kinds of like difficulty with licensing and copywriting, you know? So it's like if you change the way that they look, I mean, you got to make this like a 2D side-scrolling kind of thing, man. Like this can't be like some 3D, I need a PlayStation 5 on crack to play it, you know?
I'm picturing like Tekken 3 or Tekken 2, you know, like kind of not the basic Street Fighter 2 SNES, but like maybe like a PS2 or PS1 maybe.
Oh, I was thinking like totally 80s, like kind of Street Fighter sort of situation. But whatever, man. I mean, we can figure that out later.
I was honestly kind of starting to think like OG Mortal Kombat style, where they like badly digitized actual actors, you know? Like,
yeah,
that could
that's
be cool.
an idea right there. I mean, you got to take Jesus, dude. Then you got like Pliskin, dude. You know, like so many characters, dude.
we got to get Brimley in there somewhere.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yes, final form Oat-Kano Brimley. Come on,
The Oat-Kano.
the Oat-Kano.
Would you say Sir Brimley of the Oat Fields or something? Fuck, that was good.
There you go. I like it. I think this is like might be
a
one
tag
of our
team partner with Pat Peastew as Leon deGrance.
Mm-hmm.
with wait who?
Patrick Stewart,
Oh yes,
Leon deGrance.
totally. Yeah, there's I don't know.
anything.
I think this is one of our best ideas ever.
It's a good one.
I think it's really good. And now that we've spent like 10 minutes on that, we should probably talk about the movie. Anyway, we'll let's see. The folks at home, comment on our video game idea. Tell us what you think. I mean, you're probably gonna anyway. Actually, you know what? I don't really care because I want to make it anyway. I want to make it even if only I get to play it.
Be pretty sick.
It's like, I've beaten the world of podcasting. Now
Totally.
I'm going to beat the world of video game making.
I love that Kate Capshaw is like the final form. Super boss. Okay, so where were we?
Nowhere.
We were talking about the fighting in the movie.
Oh yeah.
So we agreed that the fighting is totally awesome, and I really forgot to add this in earlier, Chad, when you asked me like, why do you think this movie's so great? Why do you love it so much? That's a huge part of it because there's copious amounts of it. It is simultaneously, like many things in this movie, like totally ridiculous, and then yet at the same time not. Like some of the reasonings why the fights start are ridiculous, but like all of the fights are pretty plausible, and I never get tired of seeing like all the ass kickery in this movie. Like there's such a bevy of it, and it's so great to see that, you know, like so many kind of action fighty type movies, like, you know, they hold back a little too much on the fighting, and this movie just freaking goes ballistic with it, and it's great.
You kind of have to. I kind of feel like they had to go balls to the wall. Yeah.
It works.
It works.
It's very entertaining. It's a lot of fun to watch. So
It's kind of the epitome of movie brawling. Like, you could kind of make the argument this is one of the final examples of like old school punch a fucking frozen turkey barroom brawl type fighting. Because now we are so in the John Wick land, you know, we're so in the like uber fighting craziness land that it's kind of nice to have just a nice old school, simple, based on a Western style, just fucking fisticuffs, you know?
Yeah, and it's cool. And I mean what? Go ahead.
no, like, you know, some old school like you know, Any Which Way But Loose, or like Burt Reynolds movie, like, you know, fisticuffs, bar fight kind of shit going on. Like, you just don't see that anymore.
No, you really don't.
No, that's why we need to bring it back.
It's always some fucking crazy action sequence now versus just
that's
a
why we
brawl.
need to. That's why we.
I'm down, man.
We need to make a prequel,
Believable
dude.
fighting.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see somebody get defenestrated, you know, like,
Moo, yeah. Word of the day.
isn't that how every bar fight should end, you know, that somebody ends up getting thrown out of the front window.
The sugar glass window.
Sugar glass. Yeah.
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 It's the way all fights should end.
That's how they end for me. I don't know about you guys.
I don't know about you.
Totally, bro.
We got to be closing in on nuggets or bits and bobs, eh?
Yeah, what else is there to really even talk about? We talked about Ben Gazzara. We talked about Kelly Lynch. Do we talk enough about the mystery of Dalton and the crustiness of Sam Elliott?
I think a bits and bobs worthy comment for me is I enjoyed the retardedly ridiculous transformation from ugly duckling bar to like 80s coked in neon scene line out the door bar for the double douche.
Loved that.
It was so silly, and yet I so enjoyed the ridiculous, like, just the whole point of the movie of the guy being like, I came into some money and I want to make my bar better. It's like the stupidest fucking idea.
Dude,
it was so good.
We need to talk about him for a second because there was something really funny about that character and his attitude about everything through the movie.
Yep.
Like he's always like kind of hanging out in the background watching these like fights unfold with like a shit-eating grin on his face. Like,
are you talking again Ben Gazzara?
No. We're
the bar owner.
Oh, Kevin Tighe. That's who we haven't talked about. Yes.
Yeah.
Tillman,
thank you. Somehow I closed IMDb on myself. But are you picking up that vibe, like that weird kind of creepy vibe from him where he's just sort of like,
oh yeah,
this is cool.
Yeah, he's got like creepy face going on for sure. He's way into it. He's like a turbo beta, man. He's like, what do you think I should do, Dalton? You know, and what do you think? Oh no, we're hiring that shady bartender back because those guys said that I should. You know, like he's a total fucking beta. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to I don't know. I really like Kevin Tighe. He's been in a lot of movies, a ton of movies, man. And I don't know. He's actually, I mean, from a story point, I can't believe this is coming out of my mouth. From a story perspective, like he kind of drives the story forward because he's the one that's really standing up to Brad Wesley. You know what I mean? By like flipping the bar around and then firing Pat the bartender and then like, you know, bringing this Dalton in to clean up this dump. You know, he kind of sets it all in motion, man. You know what I mean? So he's somewhat of a linchpin.
Oh.
A death.
That's a death. The Kelly Lynchpin.
Kelly Lynchpin. He's kind of a linchpin of the story, man. And I think that yeah, he does kind of stand in the back and like I see how it could be taken as creepy, but he's kind of like I always took it as this kind of tentative, like, you know, I'm really kind of stepping out on the plank here a little bit, doing all this, you know, I'm a little bit nervous, but you know, we got to clean this town up, man. Somebody's got to stand up to this Brad Wesley dude. You know, I don't know. That's just how I took it. Maybe that's me once again looking way too deeply into a movie like this. But you know, hey,
yeah, sure, I'll buy it.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm just cracking up thinking about Wesley being like, I don't want your bar in this town anymore, Tillman. Trying to get a Ruby Tuesdays in here.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't want any competition.
Yeah, I got a 99 coming in here in a couple of months. We don't need the double douche. That's not a bad Ben Gazzara.
That's pretty good.
That's okay, right?
Sure.
I feel like Ben and I are on the cusp of doing a bunch of the impressions really well here tonight, but
sure.
Sure,
go for it.
That's so reassuring, Chad. Thanks.
Fair approximations, off the cuff, if you will.
Yes, very off the cuff.
Oh, maybe before we transition away from this dude, I want to bits and bobs his for a good Buick. Call this number.
Oh my God, you gotta love that, man.
So fucking great.
And I love how he's trying to be all clandestine about it. It's like there's freaking writing all over the wall.
And it's your bar.
Yeah, and it's your bar. He's like, I'll cover this up and nobody will notice all the other writing.
It's fucking great.
It's like, come on, man. What do you got, Benny? You got a bit or a bub? Bit or a bub?
Bit or a bub? Yeah, sure. I got a couple. We going one at a time here?
Yeah,
whatever. Sure. I'm just throwing it to you, man. Throwing you the ball. What do you got?
One of my fave little details is Brad Wesley's ridiculous trophy room with like,
dude,
basically like hundreds of examples of fauna from all over the globe.
Yeah.
Like every corner of the globe. It's like, really?
And he's got like 100 photos of him standing in front of dead animals too in that other back wall. Yeah. Totally.
It's just ridiculous.
It is so over the top.
But it's perfect.
To the point where Tinker gets, crunched by a fucking polar bear.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's a perfect like fucking small dick syndrome dick measuring thing that he does. It's a great insight into his frailty as a character.
Dalton, come in here. Look at all of these animals. They represent the size of my penis. J.C. Penney.
The only thing missing from this room is your sweet honey buns.
All right, so what? Whose turn is it, or whatever? Chad, what do you got?
Well, you worked that one out
funny?
Yourself over there, buddy.
Fuck you. Let's see, a bit or a bob. You know who we didn't talk about was Denise, the
blonde
titular, total 80s hottie who's just like got the fiercest super bang me eyes for Dalton, dude. She really dials that in too, man, and I appreciate it. And I was like, I thought she was a total babe when I was a kid when I saw this movie, and she does a good job, man.
Yeah,
I like her in this movie. She plays the great sort of like evil vixen, sort of that wants to stir the pot, as it were.
No doubt. Another airborne throw out. The girl that throws herself at Surfer Dude.
Exactly. Nice one, dude. Yes. So there's a bob for you right there.
She was good. The striptease on the stage thing was so dumb, but so perfect for the time.
It was so and it was cheesy, but yeah, she was. I really liked her.
I think the best moment for her was when she's doing aerobics and has a black eye. Like, I think that was an interesting layer of context in there too. Like, she was trapped, I kind of liked that.
Well, yeah. Then she got beat by freaking Ben Gazzara as well.
Yeah. She was good, man. She did a good job of throwing herself at Patrick Swayze. I mean, it wouldn't be hard to throw yourself at Patrick Swayze. I would have thrown myself at Patrick Swayze, but
yeah, right on. What do you got for a bit, Chad?
Another bit. We breezed past it earlier, but I enjoyed Fats Williams getting the free car in the opening scene and making the connection that he was in the Weird Science bar scene.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a worthy little nugget.
Wait, who was in the Weird Science? Oh, what's his face? Fats
Williams, yeah.
That's right, dude. I love him.
Because I saw him get the free car in this, and I was like, where do I know that guy? And then seeing that he was in Weird Science, which we recently did.
Yeah, I liked that he was in there. That was cool. Let's see. What else? What else about this gem? I don't know. This has got to be, I don't know, man. Sam Elliott, he epitomizes crusty. And like, I want to say that this may be his crustiest movie. He's pretty damn crusty in Shakedown. And he's tough to say, but
yeah, there was a phase of like Shakedown, Mask, Roadhouse,
Mask,
kind of Sam Elliott that there's a serious chunk of crust on.
Yeah, for real. Did he have the stash in Mask, Ben? I don't remember. He did. Okay, so he shaved that stash for this movie. And like, this is the only movie he doesn't have a stash in. At least I think.
I swore he had a stash in this fucking movie, but he didn't.
Well, he had a stash that was just attached to a scruffy beard.
But Sam Elliott, that scruff is like a day's scruff for him.
Dude, that's like 10 minutes
clearly.
scruff. Yeah.
Let's be real here, right?
Oh, I thought you wanted me to shave for this one. All right, well, hold on. Like, give me a half hour.
Yeah, okay. I'm coming up short on some on bits and bobs, man. That's all I got.
You're falling for the curse of the favorite movie where it's hard to talk about.
I guess a little bit, yeah. I mean, I usually take notes. I just didn't have time this week. Well, of course, I didn't really have time to watch the whole movie, but yeah, I guess that's it. Let's do.
Let me just tack on to the Sam Elliott thing. My favorite thing about this entire movie is his line about the big white mint.
Yes,
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, I just want to reiterate, like, that's Ben's right about that's one of the best lines in the movie, and this movie has a lot of great lines in it. Still, infinitely quotable. And I still feel that despite this like weird B-movie DNA of this film, it's got good dialogue, you know, or even when the dialogue's not good, the quality of the actors is really dialing that shit in and making it work. So there you have it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
No doubt.
What else? Anything else, Chad? Or
I
do
can't
we
think of anything
wanna-
else, man. I think we're in.
No, I can't
Nuggets,
either.
Deaths,
I'm
ratings
tired too.
territory.
That's part of the problem. Yeah, let's do Nuggets, Deaths, and Rating and wrap this up.
I imagine these are well-trod nuggets. We covered the Bigfoot, the actual monster trucks there. Dalton's first name it can be seen on the medical documents.
It's James.
Mm-hmm. I figured if anybody would know
Good
that,
one.
it'd be you, who's seen this 1,000 times.
I actually forgot until today.
So there's my first nuglet. What do you got?
Okay, this one's for Ben because I know that he loves this. So mijo is a contraction of the Spanish words mi hijo, which means my son. And it was Sam, and the second part of the nugget is that it was Sam Elliott's idea to call him mijo.
I knew it. Knew it.
Your response was totally appropriate. I like that nugget. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Mijo's a perfect little pet name for the bromance.
It is a pet name.
It is. He calls him mijo and he calls him kid. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You got a scrawny little runt named Dalton working here.
My other nugget is Red. The dude who played Red was also named Red. Red West was a high school buddy of Elvis Presley who used to hang out with him a bunch and was part of Presley's Memphis Mafia, which I thought was kind of interesting and cool.
That's right, dude. Nice one. Yeah, very cool, man.
No kidding.
Yeah. I like that a lot. I thought this is weird, and I have a few more than 2 nuggets this week, but this one is really strange. The book that Dalton is reading in the movie is Jim Harrison's Legends of the Fall. Isn't that weird?
That is kind of weird.
Right? Because then that got made into its own epic movie where Brad Pitt kind of has a somewhat of a mullet at 1 or 2 points. Well, like a 1930s mullet, I guess. But at any rate, I thought that was kind of interesting.
No doubt, bro. I got no more nuggets.
Oh, I'll leave it at this. Ben Gazzara said that of all the movies and things that he's done, this is the one that he saw on television the most.
I think that's probably the movie I saw on the television the most, to be fair.
No, no doubt. Additionally, related to that, Sam Elliott says that he is most recognized for this particular film of all the movies that he's done. And then
Really?
final,
Yeah.
I never would have bought
Lebowski.
that. Really? For Sam Elliott? I would have thought something like Tombstone, maybe, or
Maybe.
I don't know, man. You know, like he's done a lot of Westerns too, Shadow Riders and a bunch of shit like that. I don't know, maybe not. But final nug that's sort of related to that is that I guess this movie was like a huge disappointment for Patrick Swayze because he thought it would be some kind of huge hit like Dirty Dancing. And it wasn't when the movie came out. But I mean, now this movie is like legendary, you know, I mean, certainly cult, certainly, you know, amongst our age range, you know, this is a legendary film. So I find that kind of ironic.
Definitely a cult video hit, I think, though.
Oh, there's no doubt that it's cult, dude. Come on.
Definitely. I did not see this in the theaters when it came out.
Nor I.
It was definitely a video and or HBO watching the first time I saw this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. So anyway, that's it. That wraps up our nugs section.
Deaths?
Not a lot, and mostly me. So I had the Shakey, the Mohel death, the Seinfeld reference that went flat, and then you had your death where I killed you.
Mm-hmm. Benny had a Star Wars
I had the
death.
Kelly. Oh, he did? Okay, good. And then I'm sure there was a Matrix death in there. We just didn't record it or recognize it.
I did have one. Yes,
Scattering the winds of Alderaan.
yes I did.
Scattering the winds of Alderaan. I'm gonna write that
I
down.
also made a Jedi Master Padawan reference.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
So I guess I have two.
You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch.
I had the Kelly Lynchpin death, which I loved, but it was terrible and great.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, not a lot of deaths. I mean, there was enough like ass kickery in this movie. I mean, the thing about this movie is that nobody really dies. I mean, a few people do, but not really. I mean, Wade Garrett dies, but it's not really about the deaths. It's just about the ass kicking.
Oh, I watched this one with my wife, and one of the things we talked about at the end of it was how Kelly Lynch was like, "Oh, you brute," when he rips out the throat and like breaks up with him or whatever. And then
For 5 minutes.
yeah, for 5 minutes. And then gets back together with him at the end because he pulled that dude's pants down at the street hockey game. But he that was a joke. But he doesn't kill the bad guy at the end on the couch. And she's like, "Oh, you didn't kill that guy," but he killed like 7 bodyguards to get to him. So it was just like, yeah, not really overly plausible there, guys.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, dude. Yeah, that was super weird. You know what? I gotta. There's a couple more interesting little snugs I gotta throw out there, dude. I know we're past that, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna break protocol.
I'd just like to throw in here that
Yeah, please.
the plausibility factor of this movie is sort of what's a fart when you've already shit your pants.
Yeah, that's
sort
fair.
of.
That's fair.
Like right at the get-go, like you just kind of throw it right out. Like, fuck it, doesn't matter.
You got to, man. You got to. Well said. To do so is to do otherwise is to court death. To quote Thanos. It'd be pretty sick to see Dalton versus Thanos.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
Right? Okay, so dig this.
Wins.
Exactly. So Annette Bening was originally cast to play Doc.
That would have been boring.
Yeah, I agree. And also, the guy that plays in the band in the very beginning of the movie, you might have recognized him. The name of the band is the Cruzados, and the lead singer was also the lead singer in the band Tito and the Tarantulas in Dusk Till Dawn.
Really?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Pretty cool. And I think the same guy, if I'm not mistaken, was also in some of the Mariachi trilogy, but I'm not sure about that one. Yeah. And then the last one was that Swayze turned down freaking Gabriel Cash in Tango and Cash and Mike Harrigan in Predator 2 because of this movie.
Wow.
Or no, sorry, because of injuries he sustained during the filming of this
He got
movie.
banged up.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry about that.
All good, bro. I forgive you.
All good. So some late game snugs. Ratings?
Rock it out, bro.
No, you go first.
I have decided that this movie defines Stallone's 5.
What? Wow.
I think this movie is a 5.0. I think it's a good movie. 5s are good movies. And I think it's so difficult to like separate the badness from the goodness that I think it defines the border between what defines a good movie versus a borderline movie. I definitely enjoyed it. Like, it doesn't have the same nostalgia effect for me. I love the silliness of it, but like the algorithm being all movies against each other, it is not overly forgiving to a so bad it's good style of movie. And I like that this defines the line because it is clearly a good movie, but in many bad ways.
Well said. Benoit?
I like Annette Bening.
I do too, man.
I don't know if she'd be right for this movie though.
I like her normally, yeah.
Same.
This movie is the epitome of so bad it's good.
Truly.
It is really entertaining and funny and fun to watch. It's got some great performances from everybody in it. Like you said, everybody is the dialogue and the story are shit, but the commitment of the actors is like bar none amazing.
110%.
110%, 120%.
Seriously.
Easily. Especially Ben Gazzara, 150%.
Seriously, man.
You gotta get a Ruby Tuesdays in here.
We're going to put it right next to the 99. Come on.
It's gonna be inside the JCPenney.
You beat people up for a living. Tell me you don't love it.
I love it.
Dalton, I want you to come and work for me. I want you to be the bouncer at JCPenney.
Throwing old ladies out that have too many coupons or something.
Totally.
Dalton, how good are you at folding clothes?
If they won't walk, walk them, but be nice.
All right. I'm giving this one an 8.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a fun movie.
It's a great movie. Great. Good score. Happy to hear that. I've already extolled the virtues of this movie, how I feel about it. I think Ben said it best. It's the epitome of so bad it's good. It's somehow like so bad it achieves a legendary status. And it's one of those great so bad it's good movies. It's like really enjoyable to watch. I watch this at least a couple times a year without fail. And I will say that in a slightly unorthodox departure for myself, like the actors in this movie, I'm going to give this 110%, man. This movie gets an 11.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just that great. There's
it
so
makes
much
sense.
going on that's just awesome in this movie. So, yeah, 11.
You named your fucking
I
kid
thought you
after
were going to
the
say
movie, so.
A+.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on. I named my son after the character in this movie. So, it says it all right there.
Some serious nerd cred, bro.
Totally.
And that you could, like, there's one thing of proposing this name and getting shot down, and there's another thing of getting it over the line. So kudos to you, my friend.
I did. I was like that, I was like Mike Winchell in Friday Night Lights, man, on the 1 yard line. But I made it all the
You
way.
got it.
Exactamundo. So anyway, yeah, that's it. Good stuff. Glad we got to talk about this movie.
It's a long time coming.
It was, for sure, man. That being said, segue. What's our next film?
So maybe you can help me out with this one a bit, but we're doing Texas Chainsaw, the original, at the request of a gentleman who will be joining us as a guest. Would you care to provide some context there?
Oh, that's right, C-Lab. Thank you for reminding me. Next week, we will have 2 special guests on. They are the creative team, writers, directors behind the independent film The Pretenders. It's been making the Film Fest circuit and doing really well. So we're going to be talking about their movie, and we also let them pick a movie to do on the show. And they have chosen Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original 1974. So
Cool.
get excited about that, folks. Thanks so much for joining us on Roadhouse, and we will see you next week on another time. Goodbye.
So yeah.
Vaya con Dios.
All right.
Nice.
I'm just bye.
And that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode, folks. Don't forget to follow us on social. We use the handle @EBD Podcast, and you can find us on most social media outlets. Come join in on the conversation. We spend a lot of time on Instagram. Also, if you want to support us, you can do so in a variety of wonderful ways. You can tell a friend, tell 2 friends to check out the show. Also, if you're digging
And they told 2 friends, and they tell 2 friends.
Exactly. That's how it happens. And so the other thing you can do is you can leave us a review. A few of you have left reviews, and it is so helpful. People see those reviews, they get psyched, and then they start listening to the show. So the rest of you turbo nerds out there that love the show, please, write us a review on iTunes. Also, you can support us on Patreon. That's right, patreon.com/EBD podcast. And you can throw us a buck or 2 if you like. You can find the show notes for this episode in your podcast app choice or at our website, ebd.fm/episodes/116. Thanks so much for joining us for Roadhouse, folks. This was a treat and a pleasure. And we'll see you next week for special guests, Adam Gale and Tristan Stafford, talking about their film, The Pretenders, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's going to be awesome. We'll see you next time, folks.
One for C-Lab, 2 for Eagle, 3 for Wolverine to round out the trio in this episode. Everybody dies.
Beady, beady, beady.
2 weeks.